Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is going to be a quick reading. I am moving my things from this room to outside this room behind the pool table because my godmother is having guests over and she told me this a couple days ago and I just started maybe not too long ago. I am intentional about moving my stuff. I'm like this when I move from one apartment to another. I feel like it is part of um, me being intentional about what stays, what I can throw out or pass on, or even sorting the stuff as I am preparing for another move. But I have moved from different places to different states and even areas, cities that are at different price points. So I had a 2-bedroom condo and then I had a 1-bedroom in Virginia, and then I moved right outside of DC and I got a little less than 500 square feet apartment or studio apartment. So it was a lot of moving things along, passing things along, throwing stuff out that had use and that I did use it. I appreciated that I had it at the time. I feel like I do those things a lot, so I am pretty used to it, but I do take a while to sort through my stuff, but once I sort through the stuff, I am pretty satisfied with the things that I keep. And then it kind of goes on and on and on with that process until I completely move to another location. So I will quickly make a video. I don't really have any update or story time other than that, which might be a benefit for this. I will say that before I started reading, I felt like my necklace, like one of my necklaces, I had the clasp towards the pendant, and if you believe in those things, it's like someone's thinking about you, and then I I sneezed before this video. So I feel like kind of double confirmation or um, to really signify that somebody might be talking or thinking about you. So I am going to start pulling out the cards. And so for some reason, second chance came up. And then this is a little different, but it also stood out to me. Like when they write Ukraine here, and then the 2 dots, that kind of reminded me of second chance too. The sun is at the bottom of the deck, and it feels like this isn't an upright card, but with the sun being such a dominant energy, I would say, in decks, it's the major arcana, and also it's just one of those cards. It is a card that many say that it's the best card in the deck. With the sun being overcasted, it kind of feels like an energy of not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm sorry, I just keep bleeding on, but it also reminds me of like how you grew up too, and this could have a different impact to different people on how you grew up and whether you felt like it was justified or there was an indifference or just feeling like it was a little mundane in the best way because it didn't affect you in certain ways that maybe other people have felt it. I feel like there's an energy of maybe neglect here, of where maybe some personality, especially when you close yourself off, and it could have been an indication of constantly being criticized, or there was a lot of control where your personality wasn't able to shine. Um, a lot of controlling actions, controlling emotions, not knowing how to interact in certain situations. It does feel like a little bit of an underdevelopment. And when I say second chance, that could be it too, that maybe a person didn't get to know you enough. And now they're just like, man, I hope I didn't lose my chance because this is just one of those readings, you know? I mean, I mainly have been doing Ukrainian readings. I don't think I have been straying off to do anything else. And I'm using the Glory to Ukraine Tarot right now too. So this is another reading for the birds, the bees, the flowers, and the trees. And it's okay because sometimes in a war you fight, and sometimes in a war you try to find love. So it it's okay, and we'll keep going with this reading. And also, in terms of like how maybe you were treated, it doesn't need to be linked to childhood, but this could also be how the interactions you have with other people and how you develop relationships or don't develop relationships, or are you like if you're standoffish about them, or you are really critical, or really you really analyze certain like emotional responses, or um, how people react, and you really just dig deep into it because you try to maybe decipher or determine or interpret the way that other people have reacted or treated you in the past. It could be vice versa. And it's like, how could you talk or treat somebody like that, especially if you're meant to be something to them and then it's stripped away. There's also, with the compensation too of it, I feel like there's a karma here too. And I will say this, and I have said this, karma doesn't forget, and you do get your compensation. Karma gets its compensation. And there's oh, something that I keep going to, but then it like comes back and I don't talk about it, and then I'm about to talk about it, and then it comes back and I don't talk about it. It could be that as well, where there's certain things that maybe need to be addressed and then don't get addressed. Um, and then I'll just keep pulling out cards. And if a parent or like somebody, this could be any type of relationship too, where maybe somebody gets frustrated with you, like if your parent got frustrated with you, and then the less affection that they show, this can be a response to different things and different archetypes. You could place a name on it. I am not doing that right now, but it almost feels like when you were raised and then the parental figure or relationship, whatever relationship that you were in, they just kept taking away and giving less and less love, if that makes sense. And it reminds me of those studies with the plants, like when you give a plant soothing music, it is thriving, and I'm not saying whether or not you should listen to certain types of music, but maybe it has to do with the vibrations or like how heavy or like impactful like the notes are or like the type of beat that it is. I don't really look that much into it, but it kind of reminds me of like plants. And if you nurture it, it will grow for the most part. You don't have to think too technically, uh, but and then when you strip away like the good soil, the water, the sunlight, whatever the plant needs, depending on like the type of plant and depending on the type of person, because maybe you wanted this person to be something else, or maybe another person wanted you to be something else, but then you weren't that person and you were just you, and then you're just in that position, and then maybe it was a difficult thing, or maybe it could have been your parents, and so they kept like trying to put this type of treatment on this type of person that's obviously an individual, because everyone is an individual, but is not like a person that responds to this well. But they keep trying to do this and then keep getting frustrated. There's just that kind of dynamic. I don't feel like that second chance is necessarily linked to a person treating them like that. It could be, again, you could link it to how it seems right to you, how it is right to you, but it feels like a past response seeping into like present or future responses. A little sideways right now because this is an older bed. So and for some reason, sacred geometry is coming up in my mind based off of one of the symbols that I'll show in a second on this on one of the the Archangel Oracle cards. There's sacred geometry here. I'll be honest, I didn't get into sacred geometry like that. I would not consider myself a math person, but there's more to it. But it just wasn't something that I connected to at the moment. And as I said, relationships for this reading, for some reason, the words that I'm getting is like immense clarity. So the cards that I got, there's Spread Your Wings. That was the first one, Archangel Ariel. Do not hold back right now. The timing is perfect and you're ready to soar. Then, Beloved One, Archangel Chamuel, I am helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. So it does feel like a relationship. In creative writing, Archangel Gabriel, make time to write down your thoughts in a journal or pen, an article or book. And these colors stand out again from the last reading. You know what to do. Came out in another reading. Archangel Uriel, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. And then the beloved one, they're different shades of blue, but they are blue and yellow. And with creative writing, the words that I'm getting is like translation. Maybe something's lost in translation. Maybe there's something that's open to interpretation too, based off of like somebody's actions or someone that isn't able to express something at this time, but expresses it in a specific way. And this could be like the energy of like scorn dog, where you're like, there are certain behaviors that were developed after being scorned or mistreated, and then it becomes maybe a level of defense, what they think is defense for that person. And um, some people may not, they may not be willing to, I'll just say like they're not willing to like put up with that because they're gonna see that like this dog isn't suited for me, or this dog is a lot of work because of the behavioral issues that or actions that might be caused by past experiences. So some people in your life may have just dropped because there are certain things that they see or they don't feel like dealing with. And this could be like maybe even just part of your personality too. Like if you're not the most social person and this person is like maybe bored because they're like, this person is so timid and I'm just getting bored and I want to just talk, 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 which it's, if that's your personality, that's your personality. As for not sticking with a person, I know it's not great when people do that. It's also those things where you remember who stuck by you during those times and who ditched, if you want to think about it like that. And maybe they weren't meant to be in your life. Maybe, well, maybe they were there for a period of time. Maybe they were there to like teach you or even test you because the world is a school and it's just constantly like in this life, what were you placed to learn, placed here in life, in this world, to learn about? Like your soul may have had like a conference with the other beings and saying, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna talk to this person, but then it's only gonna be for this amount of time because then I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You might see it like that. Some people might just take it by chance. and just say that life is too spontaneous and there are things that I just do because that's what you do in this life. But I think for this, I think specific, there's specific lessons, some bigger than others. It also reminds me of something that has been on my mind too, like, was it? Um, I literally just had it, but I'm sure it'll come to me again. The honor code. Like, what's your honor code? And some honor codes for people might be more complex or less complex than other people. Maybe they treat each moment like differently, and so maybe that could be the complexity of it, where there could be absolutely will not tolerate this. If this happens, if this person does this, and that could be linked to a set of boundaries too. Another card that turned over is the Harmony card. What an orange that comes for orange and gold that comes from these readings lately too. And for different things, it could be physical, but it could also be moments, times, people. Like you can't bring everything into your new life. Like if you're going from one place to another place, you can try to bring everything, and maybe you do bring everything in your house. But certain things, certain moments, like memories, maybe relationships, and this could be family, this could be people that you used to be friends with, or like a partner. Um, if things really felt like they weren't for your higher good, if they didn't link to, if they weren't in the network of approval for your honor code, then why do you want to bring it into your next life? And it doesn't have to be like an afterlife. It could be changing schools or changing towns or just changing your lifestyle. There is an energy of isolation too. This could also be linked to mm, like journeying, the journey of the soul, the spiritual journey. There feels like an energy of people are there for a period of time and then they drop, and you're like thinking, I wonder what happened. The present is the Six of Cups. And the future is the Devil card. And I wouldn't be worried in that way. It's just an archetype in the deck. So we're gonna change like the perception of that archetype for this reading because it might not be like the most uh, happy card to get because you do have the sun. The sun, I would say, really outshines the devil card because it's just such a dominant card in any tarot deck. I don't think people really would argue with that. But this energy just keeps, it feels like this energy keeps you in one area, and then it's like if you're a sick child or something, and then you have to stay inside while everyone else plays on the playground. I know that's just kind of more a mundane type of outlook, but to a child, if you like doing those things, it's kind of a big deal because you just were working in class and you were looking forward to like that break time just to find out that you're just gonna be not enjoying it. There seems to be emotional control that can come out of this because clarified to the devil, it's the Five of Swords, the Seven of Swords, and with this, it really feels like things feeling stripped away. That could be the mentality of it too, where there's the neglectful energy that came in, maybe how you were raised, how certain relationships turned out, how somebody may have love bombed you in the beginning, or even they say sometimes, again, this is at a medical channel, with narcissistic parents, they want to show off the baby because they're getting all this attention, and then once the baby comes, it's like, okay, I am just here for being adorned. I'm not here to like try to be like a parent. I feel like with the Queen of Cups here, with the Five of Swords and the Seven of Swords, it is a nice combination because it's almost like those harsh experiences humbled the person. Um, because when you do come out of this stronger, when you've had such harsh experiences, you really do cherish those relationships, you cherish those moments, and it kind of brings it up to a different level, if you will, because you really take commitment seriously if that's the type of relationship that you're looking for. Um, Again, it's different for everybody, but I'll just give an example. you'll really fight to the death to protect them with if you have a family like of your own that you started it up. This just feels really strong maternal energy that came from like the harshest climates, the harshest environments, um, within themselves and externally. And even that, the hermit, a lot of internalizations, a lot of working. This is also linked to Virgo energy too, which is fitting. So it does give that level of I'm getting patience and still being able to be willing to work with things because I have said, especially with going to the VA hospital, not for myself necessarily, but on numerous occasions, and seeing the types of treatments that the veterans would get, and even the psychological responses, is friends with one of the therapists there, and there's a lot that goes on internally. There's a lot of layers that may not have been peeled or uncovered. So, with this Queen of Cups and having such experience, I feel like she or he, I don't have to read for genders, is willing to over she's really going to be willing to take that task because she maybe in a sense with this has seen Helen back and does not get, I guess, scared off by a challenge or scared off by um, a scorned dog, like a dog that has seen horrible or and neglectful treatment and that other people weren't willing to care for and to nurture until they saw the other parts of the dog's personality or the happiness that overcomes the really unfortunate moments. The past is the King of Swords. With this, the word that I'm getting is double edged sword. And with the King of Swords, this feels more like harsh. So I am getting that it is more like a reversal. The King of Swords is not really a card that you want in reverse. It's almost like fighting for the wrong team or fighting for the wrong reasons. It's not as intentional or as caring. Not like the King of Swords is just because it's the King of Swords doesn't mean it can't be a caring archetype, but it's not really linked to those things. It feels hurt with whatever angle you put at it. As I said, double edged sword. And the obstacle is the star card. I'm gonna go to the other cards. Star card is the complications of seeing potential in something, the development, the creation of something, seeing things that maybe you didn't have happen in past years, but are determined to see it through. So from the Earthside Divine Tarot, there are two cards. So this is I think it's the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups and the King of Wands. This feels like it could be different energies. So the King of Swords does not feel like the King of Wands, and obviously they're different cards. But the King of Wands with the Page of Cups, I feel like they're the same energy. This might be uh so the words that come out that are some of the words: decisive and free spirit, and even with the Page of Cups, happy. So with these two, even with certain energies, there could have been a lesson behind it. And this feels like these cards feel like a future card, and the King of Swords is in the past position. There was one friend that I had, it was like grade school, and I know my mom didn't like her. So I felt like it was an important friendship to have for me because she did things in a way that were really, um, I wouldn't say not, well, so one time she told my mom that her mom or her parents were home, and then somehow, I forget how, my mom found out that her parents weren't home and that she was like really upset about it. And I remember that moment and this person and how she was impactful, because it's kind of those types of things that made me feel like I was free. Because when I was home, I felt like there wasn't a lot of emotional response, there wasn't a lot of interaction. Um, and if I wasn't home as much, I was mainly either at my grandmother's or my godmother's house, so it was kind of strange in that way too. But I really just remember feeling like it's nice to just be yourself and to be free. I mean, I could say that about myself too, especially in college, because I had to eventually focus more on online online college because I would never show up to class. And I don't know what the motivation or lack of motivation was. I could get ready 3 hours ahead, and then somehow I was late. And then a lot of times I was like, I'm so late to a point where it's not even worth going in. And then some professors would be like, please come to class. This is part of your grade. And I'm like, but why? I hand in everything and I come in when I need to, like for the tests and stuff. And I would just never show up. But I feel like I was really fortunate to get the military benefits because, well, it's an accredited college because you also had to hand in the application to the place that funded the um, that gave you the funds to pay for the college because he would get the money and then you would pay for the college. So I really had to make sure that I passed. Like I needed to get at least a C or above. And I really took that seriously because I don't know I can't talk about other countries, but college is really expensive in America. And with all the college stuff, it is easily over 50,000. And that's not the lowest, but it's definitely not the highest because you could pay so much more for college. Um, so I chose the college because it had the courses and the degree that I wanted to do. And that was another part of the motivation too, because I really had to do me on that because I just couldn't do the I couldn't go for a degree that maybe like what somebody else wanted because I just didn't have motivation to do it. I was like, I guess it might be part of my personality where good luck trying to get me to do something that I don't want to do because I probably will not do it. And I don't know, I just had like my mind on everything else. I wasn't like terrorizing the town, but I was definitely doing my own thing and in my own way, like self-isolating and keeping a close group of people around me. Not many, but ones that I felt like I could have around me. And I didn't really do anything like in college. I just did it. I wouldn't say it was like one track mind, but based off of like my other videos on my other channel, I have hobbies and I like to keep myself busy in specific ways. So I guess partying was just not really a benefactor for me, I guess, for specifically choosing places to go. Because maybe I was kind of the person that didn't, I liked learning to an extent, but it had to be something that I was eager to learn about. So I'll talk about the other cards. I thought it was going to be a quicker video, but the Hermit comes up again, how to overcome the obstacle. Again, the obstacle is the star card. With this, I feel like it's getting to know yourself, getting to ground yourself with it linking to Virgo energy. That could be becoming more responsible in the type of lifestyle that you have. It could be getting to know yourself, getting to know your style, the way that you live your life, the way that you like to function, I think is really important. There's a lot of clarity that comes out with that. I feel like with the future cards, it is an internal battle, and then getting past it, maybe there's some nights where you really think about those moments, about how somebody really was like not in treating you correctly or vice versa, and just feeling like you relive those memories sometimes. How to overcome the obstacle with that one, because there were two, and I feel like it's really great, is the Three of Cups. And with the Hermit, getting to know your surroundings as well. This looks like there's are birds in a nest. They made the nest in the vase, and that can be a sense of comfort too. Usually, this has to do with interactions with people. So, if you know yourself and you are yourself, you can bring in those types of energies where it will really have you relive past sorrows less and less. And of course, you can remember them, but not to hold it over your head. Maybe if you still have some ways that you're perceiving a person, I would say that it's better to like put your energy towards yourself and the things that you need to work on, the things that you enjoy, especially the happiness in your life is really important. The Sun card is the first card that turned around in the deck or in the reading. Because that's a lot of energy to put out. Like if you don't like somebody or you don't like an emotion or like a moment, it's it just kind of will drain you. And I don't think it's worth it. Again, you could do whatever you want to do. You have the Knight of Swords with the Three of Wands. This feels like this Knight of Swords is determined to work it out. Because the Three of Wands in this deck talks about kind of like an orchestra or band energy where you practice until you're able to um, play music, and it's the way that it's that you're wanting it to sound. Because the Knight of Swords is really heart-willed, and it doesn't it's an energy that has a hard time taking no for an answer. Then the other cards, the Queen of Cups comes out twice, so Terror of the Golden Wheel. This could be opposites with the Queen of Cups and the King of Wands. The Six of Swords is good to have, and you see the child looking back. I feel like with the King of Wands, that might be somebody that'll be like in the next chapter. And I feel like, again, the King of Wands is different from the King of Swords. And again, you don't have to read for genders. I feel like whoever the King of Wands is to this Queen of Cups can help build something with her or him. Because with the Six of Swords, there's an energy of like constantly looking back. This could also be linked to like anxiety too. But the Star card comes out twice. This feels like lagoon energy, and I used to go to this lagoon when I lived in the South. I liked it because it was quiet. The people that would go there were just like families with their small children. The lagoons were really, they, like the water was still. There's mangroves there, and mangroves, I would say, are like one of my favorite trees because you could just see them grow in the water. And the star in my deck has mangroves too. This is also seeing the potential in things, and then you have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Wheels, Eight of Pentacles. This might be energy of keeping your mind occupied and even continuing to work on something until you optimize it. This could be optimizing a process or how it turns out and how it turns out. This could be linked to relationships too. Could be foundational because it is the Pentacles. And with Eight of Pentacles, it's usually a person that has been doing the job for a period of time to where they know how to do their job. And then the Judgment. With the Two of Wheels, and I'm getting with the Future card too because I was trying to see if other cards would pull. And it is one of those like transformation times. So it's not going to be the most comfortable, but it is going to be worthwhile. So you have the Judgment here too, and the Two of Wheels, Two of Pentacles. And a thing that I was like thinking about when I pulled it was that people sensing it, like sensing if you pull back or sensing that maybe you might be doing a push and pull or not really putting your best foot forward for a relationship, that could be something that affects relationships too. I keep saying relationships, so it's the relationship reading. So I'll read from the book. This, oh, Harmony, and it has an angel playing a violin too. Harmony or conflict is resolved in a situation that was troubling you. Know that you deserve that this peace and happiness and accept it graciously. Beloved child of God, you are a peace lover at heart. This card comes to you as a sign of new harmony that dawns upon you. Let go of viewing the situation as troubled and see yourself and others through the eyes of your guardian angels. In this way, you'll look past the surface and see the beauty and the light that internally shines within everyone. By shifting your viewpoint to this angelic perspective, you become an earth angel. Holding an elevated viewpoint sparks miraculous healing in all your relationships. Conflict drops away, revealing the clean and new truth that everyone about everyone and everything. And with peace, it is like with your honor code too. It's also honoring yourself and not wanting things to interrupt that. And again, that could be different for everybody. And with, again, the scorned dog, some people love to make people feel like they're loved. So that might be part of it if that's your journey. But thank you guys so much for watching. It's not exactly a short video, but I'll see you in another video.